welcome back to Shelabobby Handmade. My name is Caitlin, known just about everywhere on the internet as Shelabobby, and this is my podcast where I talk about my knitting and crochet and all of my crafty fun stuff. Today I have a little bit of everything except for acquisitions. Nothing has come in. My monthlies are still on their way, so I haven't gotten any of those in just yet. But if you have participated in Charlie's Sockhop, I'm about to announce winners. If you don't know what Charlie's Sockhop is, I will have a video linked here, which is my episode 40, which talks all about Charlie's Sockhop, which is a summer sock knit along that I am hosting. And I'm planning to draw, the power blinked and it freaked me out. Everything's fine. It's just really hot here. It's probably stressing the power grid. Anyway, episode 40. If you don't know anything about Charlie's Sockhop, please watch there. It gives all the details. I will have links below as well on where and how you can participate if you just want the written version. But I plan to draw winners this month for June, next month for July, and then August will probably have multiple winners depending on participation, of course. If you participate, I am doing an Instagram and email draw. I'm combining those two because I don't have too many email entries. So I'm combining those two, randomly drawn, of course, Ravelry chatter thread and Ravelry FO thread. Those are the ways to participate at the moment in how I am drawing. The winner gets a gifted digital pattern. If you are on Instagram, you can pick one from any site if you don't use Ravelry. Just pick a pattern, I guess. We'll talk about it. And then on Ravelry, I will gift you the pattern on Ravelry. I'll discuss which pattern you are getting at the time of winning. All right. So, winners. I'm going to put them up on the screen here. If you are on Instagram or email, I believe this is an Instagram winner because I just pulled those. If you are on Instagram, please go ahead and send me a direct message on Instagram. That way I know it is you because it's your Instagram name. And we'll discuss the pattern and if you are okay with Ravelry or not. If you contact me and you already know if you are okay with the Ravelry pattern, go ahead and let me know, and then that way I can let you know from my list of patterns which one is available. And then the Ravelry ones, one from the FO, one from the chatter thread, if you will reach out to me via Ravelry messages. If you've never done that before, just click on my name and there should be a button to the right, I believe. I don't think it's on the left. I think it's on the right. On the right, that says message, and then just send me a message and just let me know that you're the winner, and we'll talk about what patterns are available. Make sure you don't have them already. All right, so those are the winners. Congratulations. I am very excited. I do want to talk about Charlie's Sockhop, so I'm going to push that to the end because I have a few notes about it and just reflections. So I'll push that to the end just in case you're not interested. All right. Finished objects. I have a couple for you. The first ones are socks, of course. This is my Charlie Sockhop pair number 3. I'm going to show you the yarn tags first just so that I can put them in a pile. So this is the Just Add Mohair Socks by Summer Lee. I got this from her Sock Project the Sock Project book. I grabbed this pattern from there. It's a DK weight pair of socks using a fingering weight and a lace weight fluff. I used cashmere, baby alpaca, and silk. I'll show you the tag here in a minute. So the fingering weight is what I would call an undyed yarn from Fangirl Fibers. The colorway is Canoodle. This was the yarn that I got as day 25 or a bonus yarn, I can't remember, from the Fangirl Fibers advent calendar that I had last year. I think it was just an extra skein. She had several extras in there. And then the fluff is, I folded this in an awkward position, so sorry about that. Super Glow Fibers. This is in her Cash Fluff. Colorway is Half Moon Glow. And I was testing this out because I have used mohair in the past, like a mohair fluff, and I don't love it. It's itchy to me, it's very prickly, and so I don't want to make a sweater or any type of garment with it. So I was trying to find a replacement if I ever wanted or needed just that fluffy look of a sweater, if there was an alternative. So I grabbed a skein of this while it was on clearance, and these are the socks. There we go. So the rainbow color obviously is the Half Moon Glow. I only used half of the, or just under half of the skein, so I have enough to make another pair, both from the undyed and the cashmere fluff. So I am likely going to make myself a pair. I did the medium size. Yep. I did the medium size for my sister. And while I can get my foot in this, it's a little bit snug on the cuff and just around the instep. I have a really wide instep. So I am going to give these to my sister, and then I'll probably make a larger size or a customized size, because I have in any of my vanilla socks, I have like custom counts that I can make for myself, because the largest size is usually too big for me and the medium size is usually too small. So I have like middle counts that I use. So I will likely use that to make me a pair. And I have ordered 2 colorways from Long Dog Yarn from her summer collection. I picked out 2 colors from there to order in a cashmere fluff and get those in to also make some fluffy socks. Not just for myself, my dad seemed to really like the texture of these, and I think my Uncle Phil, if you're watching, would also like to have some fluffy socks, fluffy, comfy socks as well. So yeah, picked up those, and I need to get some undyed yarn to pair with it. I'm thinking about getting a cone from Wool to Die For, which is like equivalent of 10 skeins. I just want to wait until I just want to wait until my stats for June for mid-year are processed, and then I can add 10 skeins worth of yarn to it. I mean, obviously it's for socks. It's going to be used for these types of socks. If I need a undyed for color work, who knows? But anyway, that's beside the point. That's what I'm thinking about to make these types of socks. But yeah, I have had no issues with the, obviously because I've ordered some more, I've had no issues with the fluff. When I was winding it, I didn't have any irritation in my face or nose. Even though fluff was flying. Didn't have any issues with that, and while I was knitting it, it stayed soft and warm. I didn't have any prickly feelings or any irritations or sensitivities to it. So this is perfect. I'm going to make some more of these. I started these June 7th and finished them June 14th, so they were fairly quick, as DK weight socks are. I knit these on US 3s, 3.25 millimeters, and these will go to my sister. I'll probably wait until it's a little bit cooler. If you've noticed, my hair's a little fluffy. It is in the low 90s, but because of the humidity, it feels like high 90s to 100s. I know that most of the eastern US is in a heat wave, so probably don't need fluffy socks right now, but yeah, these will go in her bag for Christmas. I need to take a picture of these because these are my 3rd pair for Charlie's Sockhop, and I haven't posted them yet, like on Instagram or the finished object thread. Just because when I go outside, my camera fogs up and my glasses because of the humidity. So I'll try and go out there and get them done today to post. All right, so the next finished object, I'm going to put one on the blocker, and then I'll put one on my hand to show you the texture, because the texture's on the front of the sock. I'll put one on a blocker. These are the Flourish Socks by Helen Stewart. This is part of her Handmade Sock Society patterns. This was the first one that was released, and I completed this one yesterday. Yes, yesterday. Started these June 7th and finished them June 21st. They took me a little bit longer because of the patterning, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. I did US 1s 2.25 millimeters. I did the size medium that's in the pattern, and these are for my sister. The yarn is the Yarnaceous Fibers, folded in a weird way. Again, I'm sorry. Yarnaceous Fibers, and this is the Love Story? Yes, Love Story in her Salta Fingering. This is her monthly club that I am a part of, which is Taylor Swift books and song lyrics. So this was the first one, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been the second one, like the second month. I can't remember. Because I started both the first and second month together, and one's still a whip. Anyway, this is Love Story. I think this was the second one, because the first one was All Too Well, and that is my sister's favorite song, and so that one was the first one. Anyway, tangent. So I knit these 2 pattern, including the 1x1 rib, which is not my favorite, but all 3 of the socks that I knit, one is a whip, and the 2 that I finished were 1x1 rib, and I did it. It's just the thing. All right, so these turned out very well. I had fun making them. I'm gonna put the sock on my hand to show you the patterning. So I enjoyed making these, but I had to kind of go slow on them because of one of the stitches. So the lace is actually very easy. You only do something every 4 rows, and then the other ones are just knits and purls. So very easy to memorize. I didn't have to look at the chart or anything after doing it 2 or 3 times. And the actual stitches are not overly complicated, but there is a knit 4 together in this pattern, and it caused me some wrist trouble. Last weekend, I had to take a break from knitting because my wrist was very, very sore and starting to feel like a little bit of carpal tunnel. So I took a break from these socks in particular. And yeah, so the knit 4 together, I had some trouble with and causing some wrist issues, but everything else is good to go on it. Like I said, I enjoyed making them. They weren't complicated or hard. It was just that one stitch was a little rough on my body. So yeah, so that is the second finished object. This is my 4th pair for Charlie's Sockhop. I don't have a goal this year. Secretly in my mind, I guess, I am hoping for at least a pair a week, so 14-ish pairs of socks, and so far, so good. So, yeah, that's my 4th pair, so I need to take pictures of these as well and post them for, I mean, obviously I'm not getting prizes, but post them for you guys to see. All right, so that's the full finished objects. I do have like, I didn't know if I should consider this a whip or if I should consider this like a partially finished object. So I'm going to do it in between the finished objects and the whips. So if you were around about this time last year, I wanted to start the Ariana Cardigan by Amy Christoffers. And I got disappointed with it because as I started it, I was going to make like a project video about it to get it done by October. And I was going to wear it to SAF here in North Carolina, the Southeastern Fiber Festival. And SAF obviously was canceled due to hurricane damage in the area, and so I was a little bit disappointed because I was really looking forward to like going, and then like it was really bad damage in that area, so you know, feeling bad for the people in that area and just all of that. But anyway, I was going to restart it as a project vlog, but I have decided to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to use it as, if you remember with my granny stripe blankets, I did a stripe a day, and I did that to complete the project. I was able to finish my mom's blanket within, you know, 4.5 months, I think it was, maybe 4 months right on the dot, but I was able to finish a full blanket just by doing a stripe a day, 25 minutes. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a granny square a day. If you don't know what the Ariana Cardigan is, it is a knit and crochet garment. You crochet you crochet granny squares, and you do whole granny squares, half granny squares, and then like quarter granny squares, I think. And you crochet those together to make a cardigan, and then you knit the button band and all of the ribbing. So the bottom hem and the cuffs. So I love that. It looks great. I had yarn to do it. This cube right here is the yarn that I am using for this cardigan. It is going to be white, purple, blue, peachy orange, and then the crochet together and the ribbing are going to be the dark gray. So that is the plan. This is Paintbox yarn Simply DK, which is an acrylic yarn and in various colors. I need to update the Ravelry project page so that you can see them. But anyway, I have 2 completed squares in a drawer over there that I started with last year and then dropped the project. And then I was also apprehensive because I've heard so many people say that their crochet tension changes if they put it away for a while. And so I didn't know how that would affect me because I've never really stopped a crochet project other than blankets. And I don't really notice a big tension difference, but I didn't want the squares because they have to be a certain size, obviously. But anyway, I made a square a couple days ago and it was the exact same size as the ones I've already made. So I'm not stressed about it anymore. So I'm going to do a square a day. That's the plan. I'm going to do a square a day. So each time that I come to you guys, I should have 14 squares. And I think I need 68. It's a free pattern, by the way. I think I need 68 for the size that I'm making. There's only 2 sizes in the pattern, but I'm going to make the larger size. So I think I need 68 of these, 17 of the half squares, and then 2 of the quarter squares. So it shouldn't take long for me to gather all the squares that I need if I do one a day, and then crochet it together and I have a cardigan. So here's the squares that I made so far. These obviously are not blocked. Oopsies. And what I am doing, as you can see, the colors are not the same. None of them will be the same. What I did is I used ChatGPT to generate combinations of the colorways. Since I only have 4 colors and I need 5 colors for each stripe, I asked ChatGPT to make me a list of colors where the colors would not touch each other. You don't like the orange one, camera? No? You don't want to? There we go. Where the colors would not repeat next to each other, but that they would have 5 different ones. I think I have 290 something. It could be 390 something different combinations, and then I use a random number picker to pick the square that I'm going to make. So they're all going to be different, but overall when you see them far away, they're going to just blend together as a pretty cool cardigan. So I have, as you just saw, completed 5 squares, which makes me have a total of 7. And yeah, so I'm going to pop these in the drawer, and that's where I'll keep the drawer. I'm going to keep the squares for now until I make all of them. And I plan to make 1 a day. I think it took me about 15 minutes, and I'll get quicker and quicker as I learn the pattern a little bit more. I had never made a granny square previous to making the 2 that I made there. So granny squares are fairly new to me. But anyway, that is where I'm at. I will update the Ravelry page, and if you are looking for the colors and it's not there, remind me. But I'm going to update the Ravelry page with the colors that I have. At the moment, it's just the started project. Because like I said, I got disappointed with it and then abandoned it for a little while. So much so that I didn't even include it in my whips parade that I did. Because I only had 2 squares. And I didn't know if I was going to continue. Anyway. Alright, so now we're on to whips. So I have 2 sock whips and a blanket whip that I worked on. So here is the first whip. This is in my little gray girl bag. I pulled this bag out because it has ketchup stains on it from when I went to a baseball game last year. And we are going to a baseball game this Friday, and I think I should just use the same bag in case it gets more ketchup stains on it. So these are my Jersey Nightcrawler socks. The pattern is the Vanilla DK Weight Socks by the Crazy Sock Lady. The color is in my Cryptids, Myths, and Legends. This is a monthly collection that I'm getting from Fangirl Fibers. Most of these socks will be made for my grandma. They're DK weight. Some of them may go to other people, but these particular are for my grandma. I'm knitting them in the called for needles, US 3, 3.25 millimeter, and this is where I am at. So I have always just made vanilla socks when it comes to DK weight socks. I don't branch out too far. My grandma really likes them and uses them year round, so I am making her a bag just like I do for my sister, and she'll get them for Christmas. I gave her a pair for her birthday and for Mother's Day, and anything else that comes up between now and then, I'll give her a pair of socks as needed. I put Stock and Stop, which is basically like puffy paint, but it's kind of like rubberized, on the bottom of her socks because she has linoleum like vinyl flooring, and to keep them safe so she doesn't slip and fall. So I put that on hers as I complete them. But yeah, that is where I am on this particular sock. Just the cuff and a few rows of the leg. She prefers shorty socks, so they go fairly quickly. And then here's that color in the cake. I have yet to find out why my winding does this, but it doesn't bother me too much. I just go with the flow, as long as I can use the cake. So that is the first whip. Forgot my tag. I don't think there's anything else about that. I don't know what month the Jersey Nightcrawler ones were. I am not keeping track of what month they come in. I just put them on the shelf and then wind them up whatever color is speaking to me. The next socks you have seen before. These are in my Barley Pearl bag. Socks on a line. And these are my Moss Walker socks. This is a pattern by Jessie Made Design, and they are a toe-up sock. And I think that's why they're taking a little bit longer, just because toe-up is not my preference. These have a fleagle here, which is the first time I've tried that. I tried these socks on the sock that I finished, and it's okay. I need to make a pair for myself that fits my calves so that I can really see if I like them, but I hate the cuff of toe-up socks. I hate the way the cuffs look. If you guys have a recommendation on what I should do for the cuff to not make it flare out, I'll show it to you. To not make it flare out, I really like a neat cuff. I mean, here's my cuff on my cuff down socks. Come on, you can focus. And I just like a neat cuff. I like a tidy cuff. Here's the yarn. I'm using Yarnaceous Fibers. I don't know why it doesn't want to focus today. Yarnaceous Fibers, and then this is the All Too Well. So this is the first one. Again, my sister's favorite song. I have completed one. Here's the cuff. Here's what I mean by the cuff. It is not focusing. It's blurring it out. It's like, no, we can't show that to anyone. It is ruffly and just not neat. This particular pattern called for a sewn bind off, and that's what I did. I did a sewn bind off as called for in the pattern, but I don't like it. And it is not super stretchy. Like I couldn't get this over my calf, so it didn't provide any extra structure in that. And it looks like an old sock that's like warbly. I'm sad about it. So if you guys, if you toe up knitters out there can give me a recommendation on a bind off that will work, let me know. Obviously when it's on a sock blocker, it doesn't look that bad. And when it's going to be on your foot, it's not that bad. But I just don't want them to look like stretched out old socks. when I gift them to people. So this is going to be a pair for my sister. This is the Fleegle heel. Again, easy, loved it, had no issues with it. It seems to fit well from what I could tell. Again, I had some fit issues with the cuff, but everything else seemed to be pretty good. I will take this off in a second and show you the pattern on my hand, but I think I did everything to pattern except for, no, I did everything to pattern. I was going to say except for the toe, because I usually switch that out, but it was toe up, so obviously I did the toe as it said. Here is the pattern, because it is just on the front of the sock. Very similar to the Flourish Socks, actually. They have some of the same stitches in there. There's only one pattern size for this sock. I don't know why, because you can just add stitches on the left and right, but that's neither here nor there. I made the medium, made the size, it would be a medium size sock, 64 stitches for my sister, and it'll be fine. But if I were to make this sock again, I would probably add some stitches on the left and right of the pattern just to accommodate my particular fit recommendation. Preference. So anyway, that is the finished sock. Here's the yarn in the cake. I think it looks like strawberry or raspberry lemonade. And then here's how I am on the second sock. I am about to start the pattern. The toe's done, ready for the patterning. This pattern is just as easy to remember as the other one. It's still a 4-row repeat, and you do have to do something every other row, but it's easy to remember, easy to do stitches. Easy to read as well on your knitting. All right, that is all for that sock. Put my sock in there. But yeah, if you have recommendations for a toe up sock cuff bind off, let me know. I don't make very many of them, so I've only tried a couple, and so far I hate them all. So let me know. All right, I forgot my tag again. Dang it. All right, the last whip that I have for you is a blanket whip, and you haven't seen it in a little while. This is in my Chippendale Christmas bag from Disney World, and this is the Anthology Throw by Helen Stewart. Yeah, Helen Stewart. I finished a color, and I did not move. I don't think I moved it, but then when I was going to move it, I didn't know if I had moved it, and I just didn't show you guys an update. So I don't know if this marker is where I was before, the last time you saw it, and forgot to move it, or if it is where I should be. But either way, there were 4 rows on the blanket when I picked it up to finish this color. So take that how you will. I will move it before I finish recording. But this is the Anthology Throw. It's a giant circle blanket, and I'm using the Ruby and Roses Advent from last year, 2024, and using them in order. I am not breaking the color when it calls for in the pattern. I am just using it in its entirety. So my colors don't break where they should. Doesn't matter to me. This is not a fade. But there are some colors that are extremely close together in color. Like these are 2 different colors, but you can see one has more dark blue and then one has like this brown stripe in it. So yeah, I am ready to tie on the next color. Let's see what it is together. This is going to be the next one to go in. So we're going to circle to a purpley pink again. And I love it. All right, I'm going to move that marker right now. So I think with the summer weather, you know, sock knitting is going to be more prevalent for me, but I still really enjoy working on my blankets. I have my corner to corner blanket that I don't think I worked on since the last time I recorded, but it's down there easy, you know, stockinette knitting. This one is fairly easy stockinette knitting and around. I do have the eyelet rows and stuff like that, and I think I'm about to increase again. So then I would have like 1,000 stitches on the needle, but it's stockinette, so you're just knitting and knitting and knitting. And 20 gram minis that you knit from. Sorry, I don't know why I decided to put the blanket fully away while I was doing that. Anyway, so that is all of my whips. Most of it went into the socks that I finished, and not too much knitting time, I guess. I did have some time off. Like I had a 3-day weekend this weekend, but I also had some outdoor chores to do with the baby chicks. They are 5 weeks tomorrow on Monday, so they can go out with the big girls 8 weeks at 8 weeks. So we're more than halfway through the brooding season, and yeah, they're doing great. Okay, let's talk about books real quick. I mentioned in my last podcast that I am getting into books, like audiobooks, and reading them really quickly, and that's weird, but I am enjoying it. So I finished some more books and started a new one. I was on The Assassin's Blade. I'm going to scooch this way so I can post the image up here. The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. My sister said that I should start the series there. I have attempted to read this book twice, both physical and audio, and I started over and I finished it. It is terribly sad. Why would you want to start a book series being sad? But I finished it and I took a break from this series. I have a wheel that I'm rolling with books that I currently have in my library. And so I'm going to work on those, and then I'll come back to this series when I'm healed. And then I started and finished Wool by Hugh Howey. This is actually I think it's an Apple series, but it's actually a TV series that I have watched, and I really enjoyed the series, but I was talking to my friend that I watched it with, and I love the book so much more. I think the book describes the way, it describes it a lot better. The events are a lot different than what happens in the TV show, which I mean happens, but either way, the book is amazing. And I have the other two on my wheel, well, the series I have on my wheel to roll. So hopefully I get those and watch those again, or listen to those again. So Wool by Hugh Howey, I started and finished that one. And then I am currently reading The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd. I think this was a recommendation from my sister. I know it was a recommendation when I asked for recommendations on here, and I posted it on my Facebook as well. And I think this was one that she recommended, and so far it's really good. It's not something I think I would have picked originally, just like if I was going through, because it kind of feels like a feel good, not feel good, growing up, coming of age vibe, but so far it's really, really interesting and good. So that is where I am on books. So that is all I have for you as far as knitting, books, fiber related things. But I did want to talk about Charlie's Sockhop really, really quickly. So if you are okay with that, I'm going to just briefly talk about it. So I posted the video with the Charlie Sockhop information without really thinking about it, too much. I just announced that I was doing it. And that night I had a lot of doubt that no one would join me, and that I would either have to continue to talk about it while no one was participating, or just drop it like I never announced it. But I just want to thank you guys. You guys came through. I am very, very happy and thankful for you guys for participating in the make along so far. It has, I don't know, it makes me a little emotional. But I just am really, really grateful for you guys participating with me and having a little community. I was even expecting, maybe 1 or 2 people would join me, and we have quite a few people that have participated and are continuing to participate, and all over the world. So yeah, I just want to genuinely thank you for participating and yeah, having fun making socks. All right, that being said, didn't want to end on a upsetting note, but I also am quite aware that the world is a rough place right now. If you are anywhere and you know the news, today is June 22nd. So if you are watching in the future and maybe things are okay and everything's all right, then maybe this date doesn't mean anything. But for me right now, I have a lot of anxiety. And so I just want to reach out to those people who might have some worries and concerns as well for the state of the world, and just say, take care of yourself. Remember to take your medications, drink your water, pet your pets, knit some things, and just take care of yourself. Stay informed, but also don't look at it too much, because that's crazy. Anyway, I love you guys.